Now, in order to download the database, you will need a compatible transfer drive.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Deltabase, the show where I sit down and chat with other Transformers creators and discuss their personal journey with the franchise and what they're up to in the creative space. For this year's first episode, I'm talking with a man so smart that he has handicapped himself by donning the title of being dumb. A savant in toy history and niche product lines. Welcome to the show, dumbjake.
I really take issue with you calling me a savant. That's just so not. I feel like I'm supposed to be like Sheldon Cooper intelligence level here. It's not happening. You're not
Well,
gonna
again,
get that from me.
we spoke about this just right before the show that your secondary channel used to be called Smart Jake, and you changed it, and it made me very upset.
I did a rebrand, yeah. Well, it just sounded cocky, or like, if you don't know who I am and you don't know that's my second channel, like, I probably seem like a jackass with the name Smart Jake.
Somebody just comes along and says, "Who's this guy think he is?" Saying that he's smart. You don't know anything. You don't even have that many videos on this channel. What's wrong with him?
We basically got that response on the Skibbity Toilet stream pod.
That you forced me to be on?
Yes, gun to head, I forced you.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. When is there not a gun to my head when I'm making videos?
Sorry, we gotta monetize this. Blaster to head. Blaster to head, I forced.
Yes. Nerf launcher. Nerf launchers, as they're called.
Launchers. No, blasters is fine. I use blasters.
Well, Jake, you're most well known for your deep dives into the more obscure aspects of the Transformers toy lines. But I wanted to ask you, which toy line was it that really kind of got you your start into the Transformers franchise?
It has to be Transformers Armada, believe it or not. It's one of my I would say it's like my G1 in a lot of ways. Like, it's what I grew up with when like I finally gained sentience and I was able to breathe and hear things. That is the toy line I played with the most. The show I watched all the time on Cartoon Network before school started, that sort of thing. I had stuff from like RID 01. Like, I had the Optimus. That is why I bought the HasLab, because I had that Optimus as a kid. And I had some Beast Wars stuff here and there, but it was Armada that really got me into the franchise.
Do you think it was the Armada show that gave you sentience? Do you think that's what unlocked that side of your brain?
Hearing Optimus Prime say Autobots roll out for the first time, it made me see different sorts of colors. Music sounded differently to me.
Well, we also spoke just earlier before this about, Transformers having so many different aspects to it, even the Unicron trilogy itself, how Armada, Energon, and Cybertron are all they're technically connected within one continuity. They're kind of reinventions of the franchise, and I wanted your opinion on this. In a world where lots of movies and franchises all are really hyper-focused on making sure everything connects and everything fits in perfectly, do you think that Transformers, its approach to continuity and how things can just be whatever they need to be, do you think that's been a help or a hindrance to the franchise in the long run?
Depends on who you ask, man. Me personally, I want stuff to be different every single time. I love seeing new takes on characters. In Dark of the Moon, there's a character named Q, named after the James Bond character, and he's meant to be Wheeljack. His name pre-production was Wheeljack, apparently. I don't know why it changed, actually. His name changed. Mirage, who is in that movie as well,
he's Dino, right?
2 lines. Yeah, his name is Dino.
Yeah,
and they changed that because I think he turns into a Ferrari. And Ferrari would not let his alt mode be a Ferrari unless he had the name of the founding guy, whose name was Dino.
I recall that.
Which is a very funny story. I kind of like the name Dino. Dino's just a cool name in general. So, but as a kid, I didn't know how. Like, I don't think they ever say his name. Maybe they do in the movie. But whenever I read it, I read Dino because I didn't know there was an accent on it. I don't know. I feel like there's this weird thing I see a lot on Twitter. Uh, I'm thinking about the MCU specifically because I'm
Mhm.
also a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
It's like people want the characters and the movies and everything to be like one for one copies of the comics. And in my mind, that's so boring. Like, I don't want that. I want an adaptation. I want
Right.
another artist, to look at this art and, put something else out. There's a great movie called Annihilation, which
Mhm.
is based on a book. And Annihilation is a very, very strange book. I don't even know how to describe it. If you've seen the movie, it would be a little bit
I've
easier to
I've seen the
describe.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I watched that movie like 5 times in theaters.
Yeah.
But it it's the book version is really interesting because it's like very similar to the movie. Um, Obviously the movie is similar to the book, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
It's very similar, but there's like everything's remixed. There's like key details. There's new ideas. You know, different phrases and stuff are used in different ways. And I
Mhm.
just think that's interesting. The director of the movie, Alex Garland, he had a good interview where he was like, I didn't really adapt the book. I read it, fell asleep, and then I wrote the movie based on the dream I had about the book or something
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, I love that. I don't want just a copy and paste. I can read a comic book if I want to. I don't, yeah, I'm sure there are some people that won't read a comic book and maybe they deserve those stories, but I think they should work a little bit harder and just read a comic book. I
Yes.
want something new.
I completely agree with you. I get comments all the time on my Skybound videos questioning why has this not been made into a TV show yet? And I'm sitting there
Right.
like, Yeah, absolutely. It would be cool to see an animation like this, but why? We have
Yeah.
this story. Why do it all over again exactly the same? Why not have
Yeah.
something new? It's good to know that I'm not the only one who enjoys the fact that Transformers can be reinvented. We look at the live action movies, and there are people out there who will
Yeah.
try their hardest to make them all work together, and I appreciate them, I really do. But at the same time, I'm like, this is the same franchise where somehow Energon, Armada, and Cybertron have to link up, and they just
Right,
don't.
yeah.
And that's okay sometimes, I think.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I'm a little bit of a critic on the movie timeline, but that's a fair point.
Yeah. It can just be whatever.
Uh, yeah, I don't for the movies, I do like the movies. I'm not like I like most of the movies, I should say.
Yes, yeah.
But just to so people know I'm not a hater or anything. I don't think I might have hated on it before, but no, cut this out.
I I
I
think
don't
I
know what
think
I'm
with
saying.
time I think with time and age and knowledge, there are some more things to respect about the movies. Some
Oh
of them.
yeah, and I grew up with the movies. I mean, to be
Mhm.
clear, I was like perfect target age range for the
Yeah.
first movie. Like seeing
Mhm.
Optimus Prime transform on the big screen for the first time definitely like altered the chemicals in my brain.
That was
So
your second awakening in
yeah,
your brain.
yeah, yeah.
That's when the other side of your brain turned on.
Uh-huh. Like I remember going into Walmart and you know how they have those like metal detector things and they'll
Yeah.
put like ads on them to make
Yeah.
them
Oh, yeah.
less ugly. There was one with the movie poster, the original movie poster where it's just the earth and the eye is like looking over it.
Oh, yeah. I
And
remember
that
that.
poster is weird because the eye is like inside the Autobot logo eye or something.
Yeah, it's
So
it's a
it's not
strange
like
design.
yeah. But when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like they're gonna make real Transformers.
I
Yeah.
remember when the movie was being uh, promoted, I grew up watching Beast Wars and then some
Mm.
of Cybertron, and so I didn't really know all of the Generation 1 characters, and so
Hmm.
it was a Lunchable I had. And in my family, we never got Lunchables. This was like a
Right.
special occasion. And on the back of it, you could like cut out little like square icons of the characters. And I cut out the one of Bumblebee's head, and I'm like, "This isn't Hot Shot or Cheetor. Get this
Right.
poser out of here." And I threw it away. And now so many years later, look back and go, "Oh man, that's I don't know if I should
Yeah.
have done that or not. I'm a fake fan."
Yeah, it is funny growing up with the Armada because I'm really not a Bumblebee I'm a recent Bumblebee fan as well, I'll say, because that SS86 figure, I really liked it.
Mhm.
I liked it so
Yeah.
much it made me like the character more than I did. But yeah, not growing up with him, it was a bit weird at first.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I can say I grew up with him with the movie and all that.
Just one that couldn't talk.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
guess one that couldn't talk
Animated
unless
Bumblebee can talk, so
yeah, one that couldn't talk unless the movie script said he could talk for some reason.
yeah, sure, yeah, correct. Like at the doesn't he randomly talk in The Last Night? I
He
I
does, yeah.
unfortunately saw that movie twice in theaters.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was working at the theater, so I saw it free both times, but still
Uh,
watched it twice.
Still, you should have gotten paid to see it.
For real. I mean, in a
Totally.
way, I
Well,
do
wait,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
get
because you
paid.
work there.
Well,
Well, I think
yeah, I was
yeah.
making the point like I make videos now, so I could technically make money on.
Well, careful. Paramount's pretty picky when people talk about, especially that movie, apparently. Even more important than that is when are you going to get back to your roots and review another TMNT frozen pizza?
Oh, God. Nah, don't start talking about my second channel bullshit.
Well, I normally try and do a deep dive on creators to
Wait, can I
find their
curse?
earliest content, and I'm
Well,
rewatching through a lot of your stuff, and I'm like, I know there's stuff out there, but it's probably not accessible. Because one
mm,
thing that you mentioned actually in the video that just came out, I believe it was the video that just came out today.
yeah.
You mentioned growing up with Bionicle, and
Oh,
Bionicle is very near and dear to my heart. That's my
really?
very first. Oh yeah, my very first YouTube channel was a Bionicle YouTube channel. I was a part of I guess a decently large group that made content and made some decent money off of it. But that's long ago in the
Really?
past.
Wow.
You can
I'm gonna have
find
to
my old
start
stuff out there.
interviewing you.
Yeah, you can find my stuff out there. You just have to dig deep for it. But what do you think the correlation between, because I see this a lot, the correlation between people who really like Bionicle and really like Transformers is? And I know the simple answer is they're toys, but do you think there's something
Uh,
deeper that bridges that gap?
I wish I had a better answer, but I really do think it's probably they were just like close to each other in the toy aisle or something around the same time. Like
Yeah.
Transformers was having its probably biggest period during the exact same time as Bionicle.
Hmm.
So, like 2007, that's a prime Bionicle year, in my opinion,
I
prime
agree.
Transformers year. So I think that's kind of the reason. Not a super fun or poetic answer, but.
Yeah. No, it's the dumb Jake answer, which is what we need. Well,
It's
you've
funny.
you've also talked to me in the past that you see yourself more as a YouTuber first, and
Oh,
then a
yeah.
Transformers content creator or fan
Mhm.
second. What has been the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome when trying to survive on the YouTube platform?
Uh, that's a good question. I think I've been like insanely lucky with my YouTube career. To be honest, I've been trying to be like a YouTuber for as long as I've known about it. It's really funny we're talking about all this because my new video did talk about a lot about that.
Hmm.
But also it says on my channel studio thing that it's my channel's first birthday. It says, which is funny.
Yeah.
So it's been 1 year since my channel has been somewhat successful, I guess. I don't think I've had like ridiculous hurdles. Oh, here's one. So when I started, what I do is I do like these sort of compilation type videos. In case for some reason you're listening and you haven't heard of me or whatever, you just like Delta Tryon and listening to his soothing voice speak. I understand. Same way.
I don't think that's what they're here for. But thank
but
you.
but the videos I do are basically like glorified top 10 lists. It's like a top 10 list meets a video essay is what I would describe it as.
Hmm.
And when I started, I would use people's footage. Like I'd go through and I'd find old Transformers review footage and use that as B-roll for my video. Which, I believe that's in fair use. I wasn't doing it
Yeah.
maliciously, and I've always given credit in the description and on the screen. But I did put out a video that had someone's footage, and they were very upset with me and they did in fact copyright strike my
Oh
channel.
no.
Um, I'm obviously not gonna say who they are because they were
Yeah.
within their right. I will
Right.
say I used too much of their footage because the subject was on McDonald's toys, and
Ah.
there's like a ridiculously low amount of McDonald's toy footage on the internet. So I ended up using theirs a lot, way too much. I think like out of a 13-minute video runtime, like 4 minutes of it was this guy's footage. So I
Yeah.
understand that was I think I was in the wrong for that one. So that was a big learning lesson for me because it kind of clicked for me like I'm using these people's footage usually not because it's like the best footage I can find, but I'm looking for footage of like a 10-year-old video of someone playing with a toy, you know, an old PIA video or an old
Right.
Bolt Matrix video, that type of vibe. Cuz that's what I grew up with, and that's like
Right.
what I want my videos. I want to put that through the lens, like my lens in the video. So when I
Right.
think about this stuff, I'm thinking about those old YouTube video reviews. But it did kind of like make me realize like maybe some people don't like that, don't like me using their footage. You know, even if it's 10 years old, it's got 1,000 views, no one's seen it,
Right.
no one's watched
Yeah.
it in 10 years or something. Um, they might not like it. So I've been very like I try and ask for permission for everything I use now, which I feel happy about. Every video after that McDonald's video I'm very happy with because I feel like I did it the right way. I do think I could do it the way I was. I don't think I was doing anything wrong. I
Well, you
just
didn't have
think
ill intent behind it.
no, and no ill intent at all. It's more
Yeah.
like I then think about it socially. And
Right.
I would hate it to find out like one of my favorite Transformers YouTubers doesn't like me because I used their footage and didn't ask. Like that is like I've had nightmares about that. So that was a big hurdle for me, and I crashed out a little bit after that happened. Like I did not put out a video for like a month, I think, because I was just like I was kind of depressed about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But since I've changed my process, I'm a lot happier with how it is, and like I feel more safe for my
Yeah.
videos.
Now that you're reformed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Now
no
that
longer
you're
a
not a thief.
criminal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Now you follow the law. What would you say, there's so many people out there who are hungry to create, and it's something that I love. I think creation on any level is such a great thing. What would you say to those people who are out there who they kind of have that crash out moment? They've been doing steady work, and then,
Yeah.
things happen in life that you're just like, no, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I should just stop.
Yeah. I would say probably seek a psychiatrist. That would be step number one, because that helped me. Point two, just let yourself breathe a little bit. Maybe take a
Yeah.
break, a couple weeks break, and usually you'll come back with something better. I feel
Yeah.
like all the stuff I put out after has been better than those earlier videos by a wide margin.
Yeah, and I think just even my own take on this, I think that's such great advice because there's kind of this, I guess maybe it's a social, zeitgeist that if you're not constantly putting something out, you're going to get left behind. And that can be such a
Yeah.
dangerous mentality to have of, oh, I uploaded, 2 videos, day after day. If I don't keep that up, then I'm gone. I'm yesterday's
That's
news.
well, even if you're doing, I mean, it depends on the YouTuber, right? But if you're like trying to put out a video a day, I don't think that's a good move for any small
No,
YouTuber, especially. Like,
no.
take your time with content, because
Yeah.
think about it. There's been like all this time before you put out content, and now you like there's not a deadline all of a sudden. Like
Right.
you actually unironically have all the time in the world to craft a video that's actually going to get attention and actually going to get views. Which some people care about and some people don't. I care about it too much, and some people don't. So
I think it's hard not to care about it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
even people that say they don't care a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah. Well, it's easy to say, hey, just make the content because you enjoy making, and there's truth to that. But I think, at least in my own opinion, in our own human nature, we want to connect with people, and we want what we
Yeah.
make to be enjoyed by other people. And I was talking to you about this after your stream that you
Mm.
forced me to be on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That
Gun to head.
yes, yeah, blaster, please,
Blaster to head.
blaster to
Yep.
head. We can't be
Yep.
saying that. Nerf blaster
Yep.
to head. That it's. I think it's just human nature to see that number go up, and you're like, "Ooh, the number going up makes me happy." And
It's literally
when
dopamine inducing. Like
yes,
it's not. It's
yeah,
scientifically doing that to you.
yeah, and even I struggle with it. I'll upload a video and it does fantastic. I'm like, the number went up and I'm great, but the number didn't go up. It went up
Oh
1%
my
less than
god.
the last video. What did I do
Yeah.
wrong? And then it's like, you got to stop.
Yeah.
You got to just move forward.
And the
Have,
platform does do this on purpose to you. Like
oh, yeah.
they have the 1 out of 10 thing,
Yeah.
and for anyone that doesn't do YouTube, like they rank your videos based on how well it does in like the
Ugh.
first hours or what. I don't even know how it works because it'll
I
be
think it's
like
all made
three
up.
of my videos are 3 out of 10, and it's like what the hell? How are all three out of 10?
Yeah.
But
I think it's all made up. They know the dopamine rush that we get from it.
right, yeah, it's
They don't want us to stop making and clicking.
like I don't mind the analytical part because it is interesting. A
Mhm.
big part of like succeeding on the platform is like putting something out and then learning from what that product, how that product did, what you could have done better.
Right.
Some people don't do that, and that's why they don't ever grow. And that's
Mhm.
fine. They may just want to make the videos like they like to make. I get that. And they'll find success, but for me, I want to make like an algorithmically pleasing video.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny. In my new video, I talk about Mr. Beast because he has some toys,
Mhm.
and I call him a YouTube goon or something like that. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm exactly the same way. I've listened to a lot of his interviews because I mean he's the de facto authority on YouTube content creation.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like it's not like listening to these people will help you make videos. It really doesn't. You just
Yeah.
gotta. There's a lot of basic skills you just need to learn, like storytelling and workflow and like all this annoying, boring stuff that you just learn by doing. Just do
Right.
it, and that's how you'll learn.
Do you think there's a big chasm between the truly creative side of making what you want to make as a creator
Mm.
and what is going to please Algae Rhythm, as you call him? Or it. I probably shouldn't gender Algae Rhythm, it.
No, Algae Rhythm is famous actor Don Cheadle from Space
Right,
Jam: A
yes, he
New
is, yes.
Legacy.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Wonderful scene.
yeah, he is a recurring villain on my channel.
Yes. Yeah, but
Um,
anyways, do you think that there's a gap between what you truly, creatively want to make and what's going to do well on the platform?
luckily I found myself in a place where like I can kind of make it work. And that's like kind
Mhm.
of what you learn over time is like you just got to find a way to market it and you can
Yeah.
do and talk about whatever you want. Well, within reason. Like I
Right.
think I need to stick into the toy niche.
Yeah.
I was very worried I would be stuck in the Transformers niche of videos. I was afraid no one would ever want to watch anything not Transformers, but I've
Mhm.
kind of proved to myself multiple times that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about toys. I love toys. I think they're interesting. They're like tangible art you can hold and it's
Right.
yours. And that's what I want to talk about. So I find ways to talk. I want to talk about dinosaur toys. Okay, so maybe I pitch it as failed dinosaur toys. That might be interesting to even a common person not interested in toys. Because
Mhm.
that is who I am trying to like get to click on my video because that's the most common person that's going to see it is someone that
Right.
doesn't know anything about it. Because people use YouTube to learn stuff. They want to know stuff. Like people are hungry for knowledge, and especially on strange stuff that they would never even think about, like dinosaur toys. Like most normal people, most adults probably don't care or have never even thought about it.
Yeah, it's funny how YouTube has kind of become the de facto learning platform for knowledge and information that you probably don't need, but you
Mhm.
really want to consume.
Right, yeah.
You
I
know?
love watching video essays. I've watched so many on horror games. I am such a baby. I played Five Nights at Freddy's yesterday on stream for 15 minutes before I had to stop because it was too scary. So so I love like horror. I love horror movies, but I can't do horror games. I can't do it where I'm in there and I have to do
Right.
stuff cuz like I freeze up. I'm going to die,
Yeah. You live
bro.
vicariously through others.
Yes, exactly. So I love listening to, video essays on these random PS2 horror games that have like these really interesting stories that I would never know about if not for YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what YouTube is. It's a gold mine for, even sometimes lost media, lost
Yeah.
information. You had a spectacular video where you talked about the actual first live action Optimus
Yeah.
Prime, which when I saw the thumbnail and the title of the video, it unlocked a memory and I was like, I think I kind of remember that,
Oh,
but now I
really?
really need to go see that. And it was so interesting to watch because I think I was vaguely aware of its
Yeah.
existence, but I didn't know all this background. And I think that definitely, helped kind of solidify. Yeah, it was still a Transformers thing, but he almost kind of jumped into the lost media area of YouTube, which I personally love. I watch that stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm not like super into the lost media stuff. Not because I like think it's lame or anything. I just not a lot of the stuff is of interest to me that's lost.
Hmm.
But that video is interesting because me and my friend Quentin, who you might know as Quentin Reviews on
Yeah,
YouTube, we
yeah.
were just chilling on his couch watching Transformers videos, and he was like, "Do you know about the big Optimus Prime puppet?" And I was like, "What?" And he pulled up the video, and I'm like freaking out that at this giant puppet this guy's operating. If you haven't seen the video, and all the episodes are on YouTube, by the way. There's a great guy called TF Raw Archive that puts like all the commercials, all promos, episodes you can't get. He puts it all on his YouTube channel. You should check that out. But this guy's like operating a giant Optimus Prime head like inside of it. And there's like this giant robotic hand, and the eyes can blink, and it's like so cool to look at. It's like, oh my god, I have to talk about it. Sometimes I just encounter something where it's like I gotta talk about it, and sometimes it works out for me. Like that video did pretty good, but yeah, I was just like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is too cool not to talk about. I've never seen anyone like do a, you know, sort of dive on it.
Well, we're
Um,
we're kind of still in the subject of YouTube, and we
mhm,
talked about having to market your
yeah,
content correctly. And this was something that I had struggled with some previous channels, and kind of was able to
yeah.
understand a little bit more. But from your perspective, to the people listening, what's the big difference between having we'll say a title and a thumbnail that is smart and captivating to an audience
Hmm.
versus clickbait?
Clickbait, right? Well,
Yeah,
clickbait.
quote unquote clickbait. This word.
Well, clickbait, in my opinion, it's mostly not a real thing anymore. I mean,
Hmm.
not the stuff I watch anyway. I hardly ever come across stuff. Back in the day, clickbait was like mostly associated when women would have their boobs in thumbnails.
Yes.
That's what I know it from first and foremost. But clickbait is not a like derogatory term to me. Like in my
Right.
mind, you want your video to be clickbait because you want people to click it. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what marketing is. It's baiting
Right.
people into being interested in your product. Bad clickbait is usually something that just is completely dishonest and
Right.
doesn't reflect the actual content of the video. I
Hmm.
try to hit the clickbait of it's a really interesting combination of words that really makes you want to know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Combined with the thumbnail, which I always try. My advice is always make the images as big as possible on a thumbnail,
Yeah.
because they get real small.
Yes. Yeah. They do. What do you think about something that I had when one of my older channels was based around a video game that I don't really use anymore? What are
Mm.
your thoughts on the people who utilize AI generated thumbnails for their content? I've seen it creeping up in some long-standing Transformers content creators who I won't name, and I've been personally been very disappointed that they've started to do that. What are your thoughts on that?
I know you're not on Twitter, are you, Delta?
I'm not. I
Yeah.
used to be, but I had to remove
Yeah, no,
myself from the
it
equation.
sucks. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
yeah.
I get it. I've been since I've gone full time on YouTube, I tweet way too much. It's actually sad. Like it's kind of pathetic, but God, what was the main question? Oh, AI in the
Yeah.
thumbnails. Yeah, I'm just mentioning Twitter because there's a lot of AI discourse right now because a few uh prominent artists are using it just outwardly.
Ugh.
But a few prominent Transformers artists, I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah, AI art and thumbnails, it's lame. I don't know. I don't really have that strong of an opinion because the thing is, I don't really notice AI a lot. I think it's pretty bad. Like, I'll usually look at something and be like, "Oh, that looks pretty cool," and then someone will
Mhm.
be like, "Ah, fucking AI," and I'll be like, "Damn it!" So it's like I don't
Yeah.
even notice, unfortunately. But I think it is like the opposite of true art, and
Right.
that's what I like. I like art. I like movies. I like music. I like toys. I like books. I don't read enough books, but I did like books when I was younger. Comic books. um,
Yeah, the ones with pictures.
yeah, my
Yeah.
faves.
I don't understand the symbols and the white bubbles, but I like the pictures.
No, can't read. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
illiterate. But
Yeah, don't actually know what that is.
I think it's lame. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I get it if you're a new YouTuber and you're like, I don't know how to do all this stuff. Like I get it that you would think to do that, but
Mhm.
it makes you look lazy. Take the time.
Yeah.
You don't even need Photoshop. I do not use Photoshop. I use a
Right.
program called paint.net, which is completely free. And I learned that program because I could not afford Photoshop, and I learned
Who
how to
can
make my
anymore?
thumbnails. Yeah, nobody. I hate Adobe so much.
Well,
Um,
actually, in fact, today is January 19th when we're recording this, and I believe
mhm.
you've mentioned in the past that you use do you use CapCut to edit your videos?
Yeah.
And so there's been a TikTok ban,
Uh
to my
huh.
knowledge, here in the United States. I don't use either. Has that affected you?
uh, yes.
Okay. I
I
have
was
no. I just heard from
sorry.
a
No, I
family
didn't mean
member.
to say it like that. It's just a.
You're
It's
good.
funny you asked that because well, TikTok is already back, by the way.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah,
shows
I'm
how
not.
much I know.
Yeah, it went offline like last night, and it's already back like at 2 p.m. today EST.
Of course.
So CapCut should come back. I was in the middle of my new video, so I had to
Mhm.
go and find an old version of CapCut that I could
Okay.
edit with, that didn't have all my settings and all that stuff, and didn't have all the features I'm used to using. So the video's a little bit scuffed towards the end of it, unfortunately, but it came out fine anyway. It didn't really matter. Yeah, I do use CapCut, which is a not a very professional editing software, but
But I
works
mean,
good
it
enough
does
for
the
me.
work.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah,
Doesn't really matter the program as long as, you know how to master it and you can create what you need.
right, yeah. And it has like a lot of features that work for me, and like if you get to know it well enough, you can do some cool stuff on it. Like it does
Right.
not have like the depth or range of Premiere, but again, I would not be using it for that.
Right.
Why are we talking about CapCut? I forgot.
Well, I mean, the next question I was gonna ask is because of this whole situation, you've
Oh
done a
yeah.
lot of, like, failed toy line videos, in response to the whole CapCut being taken away for a day, are you gonna
Mhm.
make a, like, top 10 failed, United States military programs video? Or you think you might be
The
on a list if you did that?
I'm probably on a list already for some reason. Probably for
Given
talking about Skibbity Toilet.
Yeah, now I am too. I've been getting comments in other videos. Like I'll comment
No
on a
way.
different video, and someone will reply to me going, "Hey, it's the Skibbity Toilet guy," and I'm like, "Oh
No way.
no." Yes, I'll have
What
to
did I
send you a
do?
Photoshop. I'll have to send you a photo of that. I was so upset. I'm
I
like,
ruined your
"No."
damn reputation with one stream. I did that. That video, the stream
Yeah.
VOD actually has like 11K views for some reason.
You did good. You
It-
ruined me.
It got my
nothing.
second channel monetized actually. So thanks.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I got enough
Yeah.
watch hours.
Maybe that will help my viewership bump up a little bit again, as if I start doing essays on. Well, no, I'm not even going to say that. I can't. I can't even do
Skibbity
that. I already
skibbity
said that I
toilets.
wouldn't do that. There's
You're
only
gonna
so
do it.
much that I can reach. I
Yeah.
can't make up lore to talk about. It has to be there in the first place.
I'll meet you at the bottom, buddy.
Which, that's actually one of the hardest parts is people will be like, "Can you do a lore video on, this character who showed up, in the background of
Yeah.
Transformers Energon?" And I'm like, that's gonna be like a 2-second video, man.
YouTube short. I don't
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I can talk about
right.
in
Yeah.
that regard. Well, YouTube has gone through so many huge changes over the years. It's almost kind of like watching in slow motion the fall of the Roman Empire and then it being rebuilt and then the fall again.
Yeah.
And I know
yeah.
that's actually probably a very old dead meme at this point, which
No,
again,
I mean I've never heard YouTube described as the maybe the United States of America. I've heard that comparison, but
that's actually a lot better. Well, in its its rises and its falls, what is in your opinion, what is one thing you really wish that all this time, just one aspect or one feature that YouTube would add that they just have never, just that you're like, just add it. It would make it be so easy.
That's a good question. I don't wait. Okay, hold
It's
on.
probably not 3-minute shorts because I forgot those existed.
I actually that is one I wanted. I did want
It
longer
is?
shorts.
Okay. I just forgot it existed since they didn't roll it out correctly.
Yeah, it's out
first.
now. It's completely
Yeah.
out now, so it does work. I agree. That was a completely drop the ball on that whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't even. But yeah, I did want the longer shorts because 1 minute is not enough for me. One of the comments I would get a lot when I started was, "You talk too slow. You talk way too slow." And I'm pretty sure it was people from one of my fellow
Perspective End?
YouTubers, Perspective End. Yes, he speeds up his voice, so we get a lot of comments of like, "It's so weird to hear Perspective End speak normal."
I've noticed the difference because
Yeah.
I would listen to some of his videos and I would slow them down. I use YouTube's slow down function, and then I listen to the
Really?
podcast. Yeah, I can't keep up. Sorry, Perspective, I can't keep up. But then I listen to the podcast and I'm like, wait, what's going on? He's much slower here. I'm confused.
That's funny. I would get a lot of comments being like, "I'm watching your video at 2 times speed because it's too slow." And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't make videos for TikTok brain children. Like, I make
Right.
videos for me, and I talk a
Yes.
little bit slow. Damn it! Like, like I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is dumb Jake, not smart Jake. Go to smart
Yeah,
Jake
for-
for the faster videos.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how I sound. I can.
I've gotten that comment too. Somebody said, great, another, what was it? They said something like, great, another monotone, slow speaking Transformers channel. And I was sitting there like, hold on a second. Who are the other ones? I want to know who
Probably
I'm being
me.
grouped in with. Who am I being grouped in with? Because this is just how I sound. So
See,
it would be
see
even
how
worse
we
if you knew me.
remember. We both remember the hate comments the most. I could not tell
Yeah.
you a single nice comment I've gotten, even
Which is
recently.
sad. Which is sad because I think for both of us, our respective communities are extremely nice and
Yeah,
very
they
generous.
like both of us a lot.
Yes, yeah. That being said, it's easier to remember the ones that really dislike us.
yeah. It's just like, it's stupid the way human brains work. It makes me mad.
Yeah. It's like being children in high school,
Oh,
You're just
yeah.
remembering the bullies. You're remembering
God.
the bad moments.
Well,
That's what
actually,
YouTube
I
is
was pretty
like.
good at avoiding bullies in high school. I'm like a chameleon. I would just slip into groups and tell a couple jokes and they'd laugh and
Yeah.
I don't get called names. So
You probably would not tell them about Transformers Armada then, I'm guessing.
No, I held my my interest to my chest, so close to my chest, barely like maybe my best friend. Yeah, my best friend would know my interest, but anyone past that, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I am very private about what I like, and I'm private because I just learned growing up. People don't give a fuck. Like nobody
Yes,
gives a
yeah.
fuck about what I like.
Yeah.
It's very Quentin Reviews is probably the first fellow Transformers fan that I've been able to become friends with in
Yeah.
my state. So it's crazy. Like, yeah, I just learned that like the shit I'm interested in is it's aimed at younger people.
Mhm.
At the time anyway, it was aimed at younger people. So everyone else is like growing up, getting up, into older kid shit, and I'm just like still into Transformers. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I've learned through life just to keep stuff to myself. It's a bad thing to learn, I'll say.
Yeah.
I love when people are just outward about their interests and are just like, I
Mhm.
love this. I'm just gonna be outward about it because that's brave to me.
Right.
I am a coward.
Do you feel that way now with your channel? Is it more of kind of a
um
it's a you thing and not many people know of it?
well, that's a different
Personally,
thing
I
with the
guess.
channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really talk about it that much. Like all my friends know about it, my parents know about it. I guess people do know about it. Yeah, I guess everyone I know that I would tell knows about it. So
Yeah.
no, it's not that much of a secret. If I met a random person, I would
Mhm.
rather die. They'd have to rip the information out of me. Um,
So you're
and
telling me you're not going up to people like when you're in a line at a fast food place and saying, "Do you know who I am?
yeah,
Do you
right.
not know that I'm Dumb Jake?"
Well, I was out with my buddy. We were toy hunting for a video, and we were at the mall. And there's this really cool place at my local mall. It's like a cupcake place, but they
Mhm.
put alcohol in the cupcakes.
Okay, yeah.
It's really interesting. I never had anything like it. So we were over there, and it was just one lady working there, and she had like this accent, and she was all jubilant and talking to us.
Mhm.
And my friend's like, my buddy has a YouTube channel, and then he forced me to talk about it with this
Yeah.
random person, and it's like, oh my god, I don't want it. I don't want this, please.
Well, Jake, we're coming to the close of this episode, and I always end
Yes,
out the show with a lightning round. So I'm going to ask you three
yes.
questions really quickly, and just try to answer the first thing that comes to the top of your head. Sound good?
Oh no. Okay, I'm mentally preparing.
Okay. First
Okay.
one is, what, in your opinion, was the single greatest Transformers toy line in history?
Transformers animated.
That's a very great answer. Agreed. Based on Dino mode only, who is the best Dinobot?
The Stegosaurus. Don't know his name.
I get their names mixed up too. Don't even ask me what the Constructicon names are.
Oh
I'm
no.
like, that's the scoop one with the scoop.
I will learn them when the new toys come out.
Yes, yeah. Oh, and then last question is, if you had to do your YouTube career over completely different, what would be the one thing that you would do the same?
Do it completely different. I do my thumbnails the same. I like my thumbnails a lot. Yeah. Is that bad?
Powerful.
Is that a bad answer?
No, no, it's not bad at all. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, if that's the one thing that you would keep the same, then it would be the thumbnail. So
I don't
not
like
the
that
same
question.
name.
There's so many things I found the secret sauce to make my videos work. So now you're like, I'm gonna take all that secret sauce away. What do you keep? I don't know. Like a lettuce, like a piece of lettuce is not a burger. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought
like
you were gonna say that if you would change one thing, it would be that you would speak faster.
no, I would never.
Good.
I
Thank you.
actually speak slower now.
Thank you. I don't want to have to slow down your videos like perspectives. It's just a little bit too hard for me. Well, Jake, thank you for coming on the show. If you have any big projects coming up that you want to kind of promote or anything that just recently came out, this is your chance to let the audience know.
I'm plugging Delta Tryon. He's one of the best Transformers
You
YouTubers,
can't do that.
underrated.
You can't plug the
Uh,
channel this is
his
on. That's not
thumbnails
allowed.
are goaded with the sauce. If you're
That's not
listening to
allowed.
this for me for some reason, subscribe to him because he's got great videos.
Well,
And
I
yeah,
got news for you,
yeah,
Jake. These videos don't do well on the algorithm, so
yeah. No, podcasts generally don't.
no,
So
that's okay though.
no, this is fun. I See, I'm not doing my podcast thing anymore because it did bad, but I'm glad you're doing yours.
Oh, you're not doing web fishing Wednesdays?
No, it was an
Ah.
experiment. It was an experiment. You know, maybe I'll bring back some sort of idea like that in the future.
Yeah.
But also the idea of it being web fishing Wednesdays, it's cute, but what does it have to do with my channel? Like, like really, it should be like War for Cybertron Wednesday or something like that. But
well, I've told other people on the show, I always tell them it doesn't do good views, and like that's fine. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel like I make the other type of content because I enjoy making it, but I also make it that way. I'm allowed to make some of the smaller items, and sometimes it's just the way it goes.
One for it's a classic movie type of thing. One for them, one for me. Sort of thing.
This show is monthly, and I do videos all the time on other stuff. So
yeah,
there we go. Anyways, thanks Jake for coming on so much, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.
Thank you. Bye.